Good afternoon and welcome back. It is the countdown to the crown. Final 3 queens remain for RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under Season 2. And we are chatting to each of the 3 of them. My second that I get to talk to is the delightful and very, very talented Hannah Conda. Good afternoon, darling.
Hi, babes. How's it going?
Oh, it's great. All the better for seeing your lovely face.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I put on a little bit of makeup for you.
Oh, just a touch, just a little bit there.
Just a little bit. I don't want to go overboard.
No, never. Hannah, it's been a whirlwind of a season. And for you, I was looking at your track record, just boom, on the up and up and up, 3 wins in a row, and then crashing down to the bottom.
No. Well, poor Tony. Poor Tony, that poor bastard. Oh, can't swear. Can I swear? I can't swear.
You can swear all you fucking like, darling.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, that poor bastard. I don't know what happened there. Because I did a whole YouTube series with my friend, no, not YouTube series, Instagram series with my friend All Right Hey, where I was making over people. And so I was like, oh, this will be fine. It was not fine.
You're the most practiced one there then, and you managed to just not quite get there.
Oh, guys, it was a moment. But hey, it is what it is.
Oh, but look, I mean, at least we got to see you lip sync. And so that's good. We got to see you deliver the goods.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the best part about that whole thing is that, even because I have been in a lot of therapy to try and escape this idea of perfectionism. And I always get told oh, you're perfect, you're this, you're that. But you know what? No, I think, the most perfect thing is that, sometimes we fall down and we don't do the best that we can. And I deserve to be in that little bottom there that night. And I, cupped it on the chin and we did it.
Yeah, look, it never hurts to bottom every once in a while, darling.
Oh, it's my life story, really.
But I mean, let's take away from that one. The bottom, you were at the top of Snatch Game. How was that?
That was electric. That was so much fun. It was one of those challenges that I was really, really keen for and really excited for. And being able to bring Liza Minnelli back to Snatch Game was quite a thrill and such a treat.
That was a big call. Why? Why did you think that you could do just as good or better as someone that's been done before? That's a big gamble.
Yeah, well, because I have confidence in my abilities and I know that I can do it. And to be honest, I wasn't doing it to be better than the previous contestants that have done it. It was in my mind, she was, and I did put it in there, but it didn't all make it. But it was Liza that was very aware that she'd been on Snatch Game. It was a continuation of her journey on Snatch Game. You know how you have some of the celebrity guests that come back again and reappear. That was my shtick. She'd been there before.
Nice, kind of like a requel.
Yeah, the requel. Yeah, she's back again, babes.
I love it. Now, I can't remember, did we get to hear who was your alternate, or was there just no alternate? It was Liza.
Yeah, no, I had I brought Drew Barrymore with me.
Oh, that's I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. Look, I didn't know Willow Pill at the time because we were filming at the same time that they were sort of airing, so we kind of missed a whole heap of it. And so I didn't know she did. I didn't know she did Drew Barrymore. So when I saw it, I was like, "Thank God I didn't do it."
I couldn't think of anybody worse to do Snatch Game. I don't see Drew Barrymore as having enough of a personality to do that with.
Yeah, because once you get the voice, you get that, and you do it on the side, and you're like, "Yeah, Drew, it's so fun. It's great." And it's like Cat, but then that's it. There's the voice, and that's it. But then I think that's the other thing is that you've got to be able to talk as that person and not think about the fact that you've got to just be them in whatever form that may be. And I think that's what I had with Liza is that I forget I'm even there and I just am Liza. And I think that's what worked in my favor.
Yeah, that is what works with Snatch Game. If you're there and you're in your head and you're thinking about rolling lines off, you're just going to crash and burn.
Yeah. No second guessing at Drag Race ever.
Yes. Now, you also...
Sorry.
No, that's right. You also obviously weren't second guessing when it came to both your girl group and also your commercial, which you managed to nail as well. Were those sort of strengths that were in your wheelhouse as well?
Yeah, I don't think I got to show it too much apart from this last lip sync, but I'm very much a performer. I work a lot on the Sydney scene, in production shows and as a producer and as a cast member. So I do a lot of choreography, a lot of dancing, and I don't think that's something that's been explored too much within the show. So it kind of shocked a lot of people that I can dance and stuff. Because I do say I'm a Parker Barker because I prefer that now because I like to stand there and look glamorous and not do much, but that's because of laziness. That's not because I can't do it. So it's been nice to kind of shock people into that. The advertising challenge, though. So back to the girl group. Babs, come on. I get to be with Queen and Spanky. I don't know if there's been another girl group that has made it to the finale together as a collective.
I think it was close in some of the UK seasons where most or all of them got there, but I don't think we got all of them.
Yeah. So this has been really fun that we linked arms and that was it. We were on. We were sorry to the rest of these girls. We love them all, but we're all going to the top together. Because it was so natural. It was just so easy. And the Babs lives on. We are going to continue working on the Babs and get some, music happening, getting a show going. And I'm really, really excited to continue exploring that. And then the marketing challenge, that was kind of a fluke. I actually thought I was going to be bottoming that week too, because Rue came in, and I wouldn't say it was second guessing. It's like Mama Rue comes in and threw a spanner in the works, and then you go, okay, what she wants is different to what we're being told to do, kind of thing, or what we thought we were going to do. So when she came in and told us what she wanted, we were like, okay, we need to redo this. And the first thing I thought of was Middle Perth. And I was like, we're going to go down the fantasy route because it's kind of my brand and I like fantasy and whimsy and all of that kind of stuff. So it just kind of felt natural. So I just lent into that even more. And I was very, very strict with all the editing notes. That's what they were meant by the editing notes, is that we got, the storyboards. And I was so thorough. I spent probably an hour and a half after I finished filming all of my bits, just making sure everything had its place and everywhere, everyone knew what they needed to do. The Black Swan, though, that surprised me. That was because I thought it was going to be a stock image of a swan. And I still think that would have been funny to pretend to be beating up a stock image of a swan. But they animated it, so that was them, and I thank them. I thank the editors for that.
I always wonder when you get to those ones as to how much control you'll have once it leaves your hands in the studio and you filmed, and how much you actually have a say in saying, no, I want you to splice this here, cut away, do that. So it was good to know. I didn't know you had that much of a say.
Yeah, you write it all out, give all the editors your notes. And to be honest, I didn't film much more than I needed. I knew exactly what I needed, so I didn't go overboard, because I think once you start getting too much sort of in the can, it's like, they could cut it too messily, or they could add things that you don't want added. And so I just thought, just film what I think I need, which is also a bit of a risk, but I filmed what I think I needed, and then I just told them exactly where it needed to go, and it worked out.
It paid off. Congratulations.
Thank you, babes.
It's been a great run, and the great thing about this season has been the diversity in the characters and in terms of the people and the conversations that we had. And you were part of one of those important conversations that came up, which was obviously with yourself and Kween Kong. Took the time to have a chat about your past and some of the things that you had said and done. I got to have a chat with Kween about that yesterday, and she had some great things to say about how the conversation went with the both of you, and the work that you do outside of Drag Race. So I was curious as to know how that conversation has gone for you outside of the show, in terms of how people have responded. Because I know we saw last year in terms of how people responded to other people from season one, that went quite negatively for some of them. How's it been for you?
It's overwhelmingly been a positive experience. I felt like, for me, the conversation was important to have because it's an issue that is prevalent within Australian drag in all of its scenes. I think it was spotlighted on Perth because of the previous season, but overall, it's actually, to be honest, it's been a drag problem all over the world. It's happened in so many different scenes, and I think we got the bad rap. because, it was just a spotlight put on it. But it's one of those things that we were hoping from the conversation would spark other scenes and other groups of people to have those tricky conversations with, and try and kind of normalize and make it easier to talk about race and racism without having the asshole clench and you get so nervous about it, because it's that fear that holds us back from growing. And you've got to kind of put your foot into that door to start charging through it and really sort of breaking down the systems that we're all in. And I think that's one of the things that people don't think about, and I learned in my anti-racism workshops, is that things like colonization, things like racism and stuff, has an effect on all of us in different ways. And if you're not engaging with people from different walks of life, your ability to relate to people sort of limits as well. And I find now I've been able to have all these incredible conversations that I probably would have never happened in my life had I not been able to step through that door and start doing the work in this space. And I find it so rewarding and so lovely to do. I think the one challenging thing that I find is that, with the age that we're in social media, I know, from some of the fans and bits and pieces, to be honest, I don't engage too much with the fans. Good or bad, I just feel for my mental health, it's good to say, I appreciate the love and I see certain things that are really lovely, but just for me, it's kind of important to just sort of limit that a little bit. But from the things that I have seen, some people are never going to be on board with me because of my past, and that is okay. And I understand that. All I can do is hopefully show them with my actions that there is growth and that I continue doing this work. But back to the point of social media, the tricky part is that people want that all online. They want to see your receipts. They want to see all of the stuff that you're doing. And, I share as much as I feel is appropriate, but there's sometimes I feel like this is a lot of personal work and a lot of stuff that is, one-on-one with different leaders or different community members in different spaces. And I just don't feel like, having to put it up online as this performative thing to go, oh, look, I'm doing this, this, and this, just doesn't feel genuine for me. And I feel like it's more important to focus on that and do it. And if, not all of it has to be on social media. That's the thing. And I feel like, doing it in your own way, in your own spaces, that's the more important part than trying to be performative or trying to put it out. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Lost an earpod.
There's an interesting challenge, I suppose, in where your past actions have been highlighted and then you are doing these things, and there's, how do you find that line to be able to be like, okay, cool, I kind of want to respond to these things, but also I don't want to be performative about it, is exactly as you say. So it must be a bit of a challenge to balance those two things.
Yeah, and I think the things that I do on social media that are important to me is uplifting people that need help or assistance, where we can do affirmative action. Recently here in Sydney, at the Redfern Centre, that does operations for Indigenous youth and runs all these programs, it was in jeopardy. So we needed to get bodies in to be aware of it, and to stand by the community to make sure that the centre, had the support from their local group to continue running. And so that kind of stuff I share, so we can get people there, sharing other artists and different ways that we can, different charities and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I like to put out there, so people know where they can go to get involved and start doing the work themselves. And it's quite rewarding when you dive into it. And I work with an incredible organisation called Q, Colour the Conversation, and they are the ones that facilitated the workshops that I did. And I am forever grateful for that, for those 3 days. They were just so wonderful. And it was just a Zoom room full of all these wonderful people just talking about these issues and figuring out ways that we can make our workplaces in all of the different sort of industries that we're all in, how we can make them, inclusive and loving and accepting. And it was a place of healing and learning rather than, a place of, arguing or, where things like this can get quite tumultuous. And I understand because it's a lot of emotions, but it was just a place where we could talk and ask our questions and figure out how we can continue moving forward. And it's been really, really wonderful.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. And as I said, speaking to Queen yesterday, Queen spoke very highly of all the things that she knows that you've been doing and working within the community. So
Yes,
that's
she's an
wonderful to
angel,
hear.
and again, for her to take the time with me to have the conversation meant the absolute world, because it's not her job to do that. But for both of us as leaders in the community, it is important that we sort of highlight how we can have these conversations and navigate these waters, because I know that can be a little bit tricky for people. So hopefully, from what I've heard, that has been the outcome of, and people are starting to have those conversations, which is it's a win for not only our community, but the wider community as well, so we can start breaking down those walls.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Hannah Conda. Now, I want to move forward very quickly because we don't have much time.
Sorry, I gasped bag.
That's all right. You wouldn't have thought you'd be able to talk that much, doll. Oh, heaven forbid. We're 2 days out. My question is, are you shitting your pants?
Yes, babes, as the IBS queen, I am shitting my pants. No, to be honest, I really am so calm and excited about how this is going to pan out, because the three of us are the best of friends. And I know this may be very like, oh, Mr. Geniality answer, but we don't care who wins. We've already won. The fact, like, even when we were there filming the final episode, it didn't matter. We were having the best time. We were loving each other's company. And I'm so happy with whoever takes it out. And to be honest, we would love a three-way tie, because that would be freaking iconic. Would be wonderful. Whether or not the budget allows for that, who knows? But yeah, I'm so thrilled to be able to sit with the two of them and just enjoy the episode and have a good old moment.
Well, it's certainly anybody's game at this point. I think season 1 proved that. Doesn't matter about your track record. It all comes down to the final episode. All comes down to what Mama Ru decides. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
It could be you. It could be one of the other two.
Yeah, it could. It honestly is, and there is incredible valid reasons for all of us potentially taking out the win, and that's why we're kind of like, well, whatever way it goes, and we're just going to be there to support our sister and whoever takes it. So, yeah, it's really exciting.
Beautiful. Well, Hannah Conda is going to be one of the 3 queens competing for the crown. The winner will be announced this Saturday, and we can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for joining me today, Hannah.
Oh, Michael, it's been an absolute treat. I can't wait to see you in person, give you a big cuddle, and thank you for all the wonderful interviews. The girls, hearing all their stories have been so fabulous. So I love it.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you and all of the girls. Made my day. I can't wait to get down there and see you all for the final. As for everybody out there watching, please make sure you subscribe to the bottoms down below and continue to watch for our final interview with Spanky Jackson. And, of course, the winner will be announced, and we will be chatting to them next week as well. As always, my name is Michael James. I will see you next time.